Wait. Okay, I want to start. Come here. I want to start by showing this sign
Shell Silverstein, where the sidewalk ends.
because this is literally the beginning or the end of the bicycle path. Hello, Logan.
Hello, Paco.
Let's walk together and figure out how this turned out.
This is where it all begins.
Are you going to ride or are you going to walk?
I will slowly ride. I can do this.
Okay. So I was talking to the viewers and I asked, do you want to see what this turned out to look like? And people said yes. And of course, we're standing at the far corner of the stadium heading north. And Logan, if at any point you want to throw in any commentary on the bicycling experience, my first question, stop for a second. The first question that I asked Logan when he got here is that, let's say you're coming from points south of Puerto Vallarta on the other bicycle path. How on earth do you get to the point where we started? And the city hasn't thought about this yet, have they?
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of surveyors out here really laying this down and thinking through it. This is probably the 5th time I've done this route. But it is certainly not set up if you're coming from Cinco de Diciembre or farther south and trying to make your way back to the hotel zone. There's really not an opportunity for you to cross until personally you get here to the main entrance of the Sheraton, and I think that's a pretty safe stoplight where it gives you plenty of time and opportunity to cross and nice wide crossing lanes. And so I think that's going to be my route coming home. Although, as we will see, once you hit the intersection with the Libramiento, you have some other fun stuff to negotiate. So
I can see here that the path goes down to street level for a little while, and they've added gardens here, which is nice. Logan, watch out. Whew. Well, that one was in a hurry, wasn't he?
well, that's usually me.
Oh, okay.
As a few members of the cluster who've seen me or almost run into me out and about can attest.
I'm so glad I brought separate microphones for the two of us because I can only hear half the things you're saying.
And that's okay.
But we've got technology. Okay, so this is the area right in front of the Sheraton. This is all cleaned up very nicely.
So we will go this way.
And here, of course, we're going to continue north along Medina Ascencio. But I'm so glad they've cleaned up this whole thing. Logan went ahead. I'm going to be official and use the proper crossing point because there's a tope here to protect me from injustice. Or at least that's my wishful thinking. This tope just protected me from social injustice. And now we part from one another. There goes Logan. And here I go. Lots of new plants. I hope they survive. And it's dirty. You can tell it
Yeah.
hasn't rained. And we continue heading north.
So this is a common occurrence all along the way where people are still getting used to the idea that there are cyclists and that there's a lane for them. And we're going to come across a few bus stops.
Oh, God bless Logan. He thinks I can hear what he's saying. Again, thank God for wireless technology. Hello. I can see that this is an adventure because if you're waiting for the bus or standing on the corner, unless you take the time to look down,
We're good.
we're good. Ay, mama. Unless you take the time to look down, you're not going to know if you're standing on bicycle territory or pedestrian territory.
The bus stops are always like part of the obstacle course. I look at my ride to work every day as an obstacle course or a pinball machine and people are not thinking. The last thing on their mind is cyclists, which I think is fair. They're rushing to make a connection. They're rushing to get to work. They are on their phones. They're looking and talking to each other.
Hey, Logan, do you sense it being any wider than the other side?
That's a good question. I would say it's probably about the same width.
I mean, I love all these little trees and whatnot, but when they start growing,
Yeah.
they're gonna start slapping you on the face as you're riding with their branches.
Yeah, and that does happen. I will say with the new administration, I've noticed them out in force. This could just be part of the first few weeks where they're putting on their best face, but they are out and they're trimming and taking care of that. But honestly, I wear the helmet more than to protect my noggin from falling. I wear it to protect myself from tree branches.
Helmet and sunglasses, I'm sure, because
Yes.
otherwise your contact lenses would fly all over the place.
Yes, or my prescription indoor-outdoor, yes.
This makes me wonder, and I don't think I've ever seen anything written to that effect, if the city worked with any of the local cycling advocacy groups to plan or to have them serve as consultants. I know.
I didn't get the memo. If they did, I certainly was not invited.
I see bus stop territory coming up.
Yeah. So a question I have is, why is it so well marked red with the bike symbol, and then you get to where you know there's going to be a cluster of humans always standing and waiting, and why does it go white and gray, and why does it not delineate itself as
You're
it does the rest of the route?
Yeah, no, you're correct, because it is
More than anywhere, this is where it would be needed.
Yeah, if this is where the bus stop is, you know, there's this gentleman with a red
Yeah.
t-shirt coming up, standing smack in the middle of your road.
Yeah, if I'm going 20 kilometers an hour,
That
I'm gonna
can
need
be
him to move.
problematic.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that being a daily commuter, weather permitting, this is better than before, right?
Absolutely. I'm really happy about it, and it's fun and it's new, and it's just a matter of getting used to. I think a lot like how great it is because, you know, to ride a bike, you don't need a license, you don't have to do an emissions test, you don't pay taxes to ride your bike. So, you know, it's really the city giving back to an activity that doesn't return much in favor monetarily, but except, you know, it's just for the thing about the quality of life of the citizens. So it is nice that they made the gesture at least.
Now the sidewalk is lower here than street level, and I wonder what that will mean for rain. Because if rain gets trapped down here, there's nothing to protect any of these venues, you know?
Yeah.
From the rain.
I suppose they think it'll just run out to the street here. So here's where it gets dicey.
Here's where it starts getting interesting. Okay. Buenas tardes. What? I love it when timeshare people start saying nice things about you. It's actually good for my ego.
Did they ask if we were honeymooners?
No. Here's the interesting part. Okay, so this is a vehicular exit as it's always been. So we're gonna cautiously, yeah, we can cross.
Mind, yeah, you have cars at your back.
Yeah. So all of a sudden the bike route is also pedestrian. Fair. We reached the libramiento.
And my fantasy when this was being built, that there would be a tunnel constructed under all this. Because we know there's a canal down here and there is room and space to punch the tunnel through. But we weren't so lucky.
Now here, we also,
Oh yeah.
watch carefully. And here we are. Now I'm walking on your path and you're cycling on mine. Get out of the way.
Can you picture a tunnel under there? Wouldn't that be nice?
And we stop.
It's a matter of knowing the roads and knowing the stoplight patterns. As a local, I knew that they were about to come this way. If I was on vacation, I may not have been as lucky.
Now, here's a bet for the future. This intersection will continue to be complicated until A, the city builds an overpass here,
Yeah.
or B, the city builds a macro libramiento that takes away all the suburban traffic elsewhere and around the city. What do you think is going to happen first?
Before the overpass, a macro libramiento.
Okay, coming up your bicycle path looks narrower,
Yeah.
or it could be me.
Or the paint, they put paint, a line of paint here.
Ay!
Green.
Oops, we barely made it. very utilitarian. I mean, if you're commuting,
It's great.
I'm glad that you have it. But does this make me want to become a casual bicycle rider? Nope.
Well, and so here we have the most WTF were they thinking.
What the fuck? we can say WTF. Okay, so this is gnarly
Yeah.
because there's always traffic on this one. This is the traffic coming in from the Libramiento. We're going to gracefully walk to the other side.
As we approach probably the busiest bus stop in the city.
This is true. The Francia bus stop is hellish at all times. And no traffic behind me.
This is also basically an off-ramp that we're walking across.
Well, I mean, considering the fact that they did what they could with what they had, you know, it is what it is.
For so long, a cyclist got so used to just sharing the west side path, and even though the arrows were all pointing south, all the southbound people understood that us northbound people were in need of share because there was nothing over here. And so now we do have something.
Okay, it is 5:30 in the afternoon. We're approaching one of the busiest bus stops in the city at rush hour. This is the Calle Francia bus stop. There's not even room to walk on the sidewalk. So because you're here, I feel comfortable walking along the bicycle path. But I'm not the only person doing that. There are all these people standing on the bicycle path, which is now
Great.
one with the sidewalk. Oh my God, what a mess. And here's not even finished. Well, that was something.
Gnarly, right? How's your battery doing?
I'm doing good. Let's keep
Okay.
going.
It is one of the little clusters in town where you feel like you're really in a city.
Yep.
Lots of people around. If you didn't realize the beach was just right over there, you could be elsewhere. Okay.
Alrighty. I'm afraid.
Maybe they're rehearsing for their Halloween show.
Probably. Buenas tardes.
And then we have these little chingaderas now. to
What the
contend
hell
with.
was that? Oh, stop. Before we go, this is one of those OXXOs where you can get your bus card refilled. For those of us that don't ride the bicycle but ride the bus, you cannot get a bus card in Puerto Vallarta, but you can refill your bus card for
Okay.
Puerto Vallarta in Puerto Vallarta.
In Puerto Vallarta. Oh. Perdón. The sidewalk got a little high, so it's all right.
I dig that, other
Yeah.
bicyclists ringing their bells
Yeah.
and being mindful of one another.
Yeah. I've been commuting to work on bike for almost 3 years now. And in 3 years, I've seen a bike culture grow and evolve. And as we saw, now we have all these electric scooters and electric bikes and all these other things on our path. So that always makes it interesting. The other thing I wanted to point out is on the west side, there are less intersections. There's less big roads coming in and less side streets popping in. Being on the east side here, with every block of Versailles and Diaz Ortiz popping in. Diaz Ordaz.
Not Diaz Ortiz.
Diaz Ordaz.
I think we're approaching one of the controversial intersections. And what I mean by that is on one of these, they didn't build any storm drains. And it could be precisely this one. And because there are no storm drains and the street is taller,
Se sigue inundando.
I mean, the main avenue is taller than the little street. When you get to this point, the water has no place to go.
Except for into your sandwich.
And I don't see any storm drains here. And I do see an old storm drain here, which is nice. So the problems must be happening back there.
Unnecessary.
Well, we don't
As
know
we
where
just
that comes from.
Dump water.
Something else that I'm noticing, and maybe it's just selfish, wanting to have an audible connection with you because I haven't seen you, is that the traffic is so loud.
Ah. Yeah.
So on a weekday, this walk is not nearly as recreational
Yeah.
as it might be on a Sunday.
Yeah. Vallarta is a city in motion. Our buses aren't quiet.
Absolutely.
And this is the part of the route where I just slow down.
Well, yeah, we're approaching the IMSS hospital. I'm sure that there's a lot of people not necessarily paying a lot of attention.
Right. Understandably, I definitely have patients here. There have been ambulances in the middle of the route. There are older folks trying to get in and out of wheelchairs. It's all good around here. We just let everyone get to where they need to get along this little section.
always a number of people just hanging out around here. This is where the IMSS hospital is. And the number of people can vary. So of the two bicycle paths, Logan, the northbound and the southbound, is there one that you prefer over the other, or is there a section of it that you look forward to,
Yeah, good
if
question.
at all?
I would say overall definitely the southbound, as it's what I'm used to. And again, there's less obstacles, less side streets popping in and out, less potential to be sideswiped by a car, like here.
Yeah.
The section of the path I most look forward to, you know, I really like the Cinco de Diciembre
Uh-huh.
section of my ride. Particularly when coming from the south back north. There is a slope through there you don't realize when you're in a car or when you're walking. That on a bike you can pick up speed and go really fast, so there's not a lot of effort, and it's a really nice ride.
Loud, loud, loud. But I'll tell you, friends like Den and Kathy are going to have a field chair with their wheelchair. Anybody that is wheelchair bound should be happy to know that this widened stretch of sidewalk exists and there are proper ramps along the way.
And then here at Los Tules, definitely I want to be on the west side rather than here, because you just cruise right through on the west side. There's no intersection to contend with. Here you have cars going in 4 different directions at any given time, and you never know where someone's going to come in behind you or from the side. So we always take it through here just really slow.
Now, let me ask you something else. This is another cycling question. Actually, let's cross the street first, because this could be interesting. Gracias. Gracias. Gracias.
Most everyone's going to want to.
Oh, pues. Everybody's taking a right-hand turn here. I think we can go for it after this guy. Okay, so now that the northbound bike path is ready, do you see a lot of northbound cyclists still riding on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, we still...
Somebody farted.
We still are sharing the path. Because I exit my condo community on this side, I sometimes continue on here south because there's still not a lot of people on this side. And vice versa, we're still north-southing it on the other side too. So it'll take a while before anyone gets uniform, and you have to have some leeway, as there's sections where you need to get somewhere and you have to cross over before you get to where you're going. So there always has to be some kind of allowance.
For the courageous, for the bicycle-friendly tourists that are bound to come across this video on YouTube, would you advise this as a tourism activity or not?
I would say go with a local guide. Don't do it on your own. Go with a friend who's done it before. Or just take your bike on the Parque Lineal, Rio Pitial, and go back and forth. And it's a beautiful, shady ride. And you'll see birds, and it's quiet and pleasant. And there's no cars.
Well, that came from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
This brand spanking new security post Yes, this monstrosity over here that collects security information
Yeah.
is where I part from you, my friend.
All right. It was good seeing you. Good catching up.
I know, we have lots of
More.
more. But I thank you so much for walking with me and showing me a little bit of what's out there. And we say goodbye to people watching with this lovely view of Plaza Caracol.
As
Thank
I
you for
navigate
watching.
another bus stop.
Another bus stop is coming up, so this gives you a chance to regain your strength. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing, and see you soon.